It's Friday Night Live with Vince, pregame, postgame show. Your destination for top high school previews and wrap-ups with Vince and his team. Buckle up and hang on for Friday Night Live. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Friday Night Live, presented by the Varsity Sports Show team. My name is Vince DeLisio, and we are joined. We've got a fun, action-packed show tonight. We've got a lot of content. We are right in the thick of the postseason here, both in Arizona as well as in Nevada. And joining us are two co-hosts of the evening from the University of Arizona in Tucson, Cole Bruntz, and from Arizona State University, Kyle Weselick. Gentlemen, Cole, Kyle, how's it going?
Going good, Vince. How are you?
Great. Kyle,
Doing
yourself?
Doing great, Vince. You doing good?
I am doing awesome. We have had a big week. You guys have been knee deep in a lot of postseason stuff. Cole, you've had a chance to produce some pretty good content, doing some social media behind the scenes this week. The week before, you were working some games.
Mm-hmm.
So you had a chance. You even saw some lacrosse. Tell us about that.
Yeah, man, it's been good. Being able to dive into, some Adobe Express, it's been fun, getting to make some graphics.
Awesome. And then Kyle, you were out in the action, had a chance to do some production work on one of the semifinal soccer games. What was significant about your game? You were at Northwest Christian. It was Northwest Christian, I believe, in ALA West Foothills.
Yeah, so that was the 3A girls soccer semifinals. It ended in a 1-0 win for Northwest Christian, who advanced to the finals. But the star player of that game was going to be the goalie for ALA West Foothills, Emerson Miller. She had 20-plus saves in that game, and she was one of the main reasons they were still in that game.
Wow, incredible. A lot of saves. Okay, well, that is awesome. Great week. More to come in coming days. So let us transition. Let's turn it over to Kyle. Take it away.
Yeah, so we're going to be joined by Nicholas Hill here. He's going to talk to us about the Yuma Catholic soccer recap from Wednesday.
Hey, Kyle, thanks for having me. How are you doing, man?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Yeah, this was definitely a bit of an interesting game. We had two of the top teams in 3A for soccer. But, Yuma Catholic, they handled business against they handled business against Benjamin Franklin. These two teams actually played each other in mid-December. Yuma won that game 7-1, but this time they won 5-1. And honestly, the score is a little deceiving of how the game went, in my opinion. Both teams kind of held the ball for maybe 30 seconds at maximum. But what's the huge difference for this game, Yuma kind of had a secret weapon on their team. They had a freshman named Cade Garcia, and he was the main reason why Yuma just had a dominating score. Whenever he touched the ball, man, he was weaving in and out of defenders, making people miss all the time. He had at least 2 goals. He might have even had a hat trick. I honestly lost count as I was calling the game, but it was definitely crazy. It was super windy there too. So yeah, it was just very rough conditions, honestly.
Yeah, it sounds like 2 electric games there. 7-1 and 5-1. Those are some high scores for some soccer games.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, we appreciate you, Nick, for that recap.
No, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. We're going to pass this on over to our other co-host, Cole, to talk about Braden Solomon and Saguaro's basketball game.
Hey, guys. Yeah, so joining us next is Braden Solomon. He's going to be talking to us about the Wednesday Saguaro basketball game. How you doing, Braden?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Yeah, so I was at round 1 of the AIA Open State Championship between Mesa and Saguaro. At Mesa High School, I was doing play-by-play for that game. Definitely a great game. Definitely unfortunate ending for Saguaro as they fell 70-66 like we see on the screen. They started out great. They were up probably 10 to start the game. I think it was a 15-4 start for them. And then Mesa kind of slowly started cutting the lead. I think they ended the first quarter down 6, and then by the time it got to halftime, they were down 3. By the third quarter, they tied the game up, and then they were like Saguaro just kept making some small mistakes. Mesa was answering with those mistakes, and then they ultimately ended up winning 70-66. But overall, it was a great game. Both Saguaro they had great players with Isaac Nat, Pierce Harrington, and then Mesa was led by sophomore guard Jakai Miles, who finished the game with great stats: 27 points, 10 boards, 5 assists, 1 steal, and 2 blocks. But overall, it was a great game.
Yeah, so what do you think is next for Saguaro, and be able to prepare for next year?
I think they're in a great position. I mean, there was like a couple guys who are seniors, but the guys who are leading their team for the most of the season will be they're younger, so they have time to build chemistry and build a connection amongst each other.
Okay, nice. Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you for that. That is Braden Solomon talking to us about Saguaro basketball recap. And now we will pass it back to Kyle.
Yeah, next we'll be joined by Ethan Kinney talking about the NBA post All-Star break.
Hey Kyle, how's it going?
Good. How are you doing, Ethan?
I'm doing great. So the NBA after the All-Star break, it's usually a tale of two different sides of the coin. You have the playoff teams and you have the teams that are playing for lottery balls. And I find it really interesting what's going to be going on post this All-Star break, because just before the break started, the Utah Jazz actually got fined $500,000 for tanking because they were sitting their important players without really a specific injury designation. And given the trades that they made during the deadline, it seemed a little bit far-fetched to them purposely losing games. So I know there's been a lot of information released in the recent days that the NBA is really going to start cracking down on tanking. So it's going to be very interesting to see all of the bad teams, how they manage their better players down the stretch, and if they're able to kind of avoid the rules. And then on the other side, as far as the playoff teams, the Western Conference is loaded right now. I mean, the top 6 seeds, you got the Thunder at 1 and the Spurs at 2, and I think the gaps between the 3 seed and the 6 seed, I mean, I think it's like 2 games. So, it's going to be a dogfight, and every game really matters in this final stretch before the playoffs.
Yeah, season's wrapping up. Contenders are showing. West is stacked as always. It seems like the last couple of years, West has been the top teams. It's just a couple games separating the 1 through 8 seeds. So should be interesting here coming down the stretch.
Definitely, as a Western Conference team fan, it's been a stressful watch, but it always makes for good basketball at the end of the day.
Very true. Well, thank you so much, Ethan.
Thank you, Kyle.
Of course. Next, we're going to pass this off to Cole again.
Hey guys, yeah, joining us next will be Braden Goetz, and he is going to be talking about the NBA All-Star Game recap.
I'm Braden Goetz, reporting for the Varsity Sports Show. The 75th annual NBA All-Star Game just wrapped up, and let's face it really hasn't had the same appeal that it once did. All-Star Games as a whole throughout almost every professional sports league have fallen off. That dunk contest, bit of a highlight though. Keyshawn Johnson, Arizona guy, won it, so bear down. The NBA All-Star Game itself is trying to get ahead of the trends and has received a bit of a facelift several times in the past. This most recent makeover lends from the NHL's overhaul of their All-Star Weekend, the Four Nations Face-Off, which super fun to watch. Everyone got super into it. The format was a 3-team round robin with 2 teams from USA, Team Stars and Team Stripes, and a world team, as the NBA has become increasingly more global with each passing year. Each team played a 12-minute round. Each of the round robin games were very competitive, with the winners eking out 1-possession victories in each one. In the first round, Team Stars bested Team World 37-35. Stripes beat the Stars 42-40, and Stripes beat World 48-45. The championship round was an All-American rematch, as Team Stars got revenge 47-21 over Team Stripes. This new format saw an 86% increase in viewers at 9.8 million, the highest since 2011, according to NBC Sports, indicating that Commissioner Adam Silver may have cracked the code. I'm Braden Goetz with Varsity Sports Show. Thanks for watching.
All right, welcome back, guys. Nice job so far. We've got a lot to talk about, obviously, a lot to unpack tonight. Normally, this show's about 15-ish minutes. Tonight, we're going a full 30 because of all the action we wanted to report on. We didn't want to leave. We wanted to leave as little as possible out. Also, remind you, tomorrow morning, we've got a big Varsity Sports Show. We're going to be joined by some big-time coaches. Grand Canyon University Club women's lacrosse head coach Tracy Ramirez. They had a game that we covered last night for them. They've got a big weekend of action facing Texas A&M coming into town. And we've got Arizona Christian, brand new head football coach Drew Maddox joining us tomorrow morning on the Varsity Sports Show. Excited to hear from Coach Maddox. Really love talking to this guy. He's a Army veteran, and he's coached for a long time and just done some great things. Let's transition. I'd like to turn it back over to Kyle. Kyle, what do you got for us?
Yeah, so next we're going to hear from Brianna, recapping from Glendale Prep's soccer from this past week.
Yeah, so basically I was able to attend both the boys and the girls game, and both of them won, and they're both going to the finals. But starting off with the girls, they had a dominant win 4-0 over the Horizon Honor Eagles. And I would say the biggest difference in the game was that Glendale was playing really fast-paced, quick passes, aggressive, constantly attacking, while the Horizon Honors usually plays a more slow-paced game, which is something that they were not used to, which made them make mistakes. And then on the boys' side, it was a 2-0 victory over St. John Paul Lions. This matchup was more evenly paced, but because they are so high tempo, it created a lot of pressure moments with tight passing windows, and Glendale on both teams handled it phenomenally and basically kept the game very competitive.
Yeah, so Brianna, with both the boys and the girls team making it to the finals, what is it about this program that just seems to be clicking for both these programs to be getting this far?
I honestly think it may be their coaching style, because the fact that both teams are playing very fast-paced games, it just shows you how much they practice towards having quick thinking in what passes they're going to make and making sure everything has meaning to it.
Well, we appreciate that, Brianna, and we look forward to seeing what happens with both the boys and the girls team. Next, we're going to pass this over to Cole again.
Hey guys, now we're going to be joined with Johnny Fogel, and he is going to be talking to us about college basketball's biggest weekend so far this season. Hey Johnny, how you doing?
I'm good. How you doing, Cole?
Doing good.
Pretty excited for you guys. I know the game's not in Tucson this week, but you guys are playing Houston. We're going to start in Washington, D.C., where number 1 Michigan is playing number 3 Duke. This is an unbelievable matchup. Michigan started this week. They played number 7 Purdue, smacked them, only won by 11, but I don't think that score was indicative of what was going on. Spread for that game is 2.5, Cole, and I think Yaxel Lendenborg and the veteran presence of the Michigan Wolverines and Dusty May, I think they're going to handle business in Washington, D.C. against the Duke Blue Devils. Then to your guys, Houston is hosting the Wildcats. -5 is the spread for the Cougars. Stylistically, I think this is brutal for Arizona. They're really going to want to go inside with Koa Pete. Jaden Bradley loves those mid-range jumpers. Krivas loves going inside as well. I think Houston's ready for that. They just lost this week to Iowa State in an interesting game that I thought refereeing-wise and a little Hilton magic was sprinkled on top. I think Houston's ready to get back on top of that. It's a good get-back spot for them. Kingston Fleming's one of my favorite players in college basketball against Arizona. I think Houston's going to take care of business this week. And let me mention this also. I didn't little spraying all over the place here. Only the 5th time in AP college basketball era where the top 4 teams are all playing on one day in the regular season. Crazy scenes. Also,
Wow.
the top 4 teams on KenPom. If you know, you know. Just absolutely insane day on Saturday tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a great stat right there, Johnny. So yeah, with Michigan and Houston and Duke and Arizona being the top 4, are those the 4 teams you think you expect to see in the Final Four?
You would assume so. Michigan looks unbeatable, besides the fact that they lost to, if I can say, my Wisconsin Badgers, which was really surprising if we're looking in retrospect for how dominant Michigan has been this year. Number 1 offensive efficiency, number 4 defensive efficiency. So they're ridiculous. Love their coach too, the former Florida Atlantic coach that took them to the Final Four. To answer your question, I would assume that Michigan and Houston are the locks of the Final Four right now. Arizona and Duke, I have some questions about, but wouldn't be surprised if this was the Final Four goal.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Awesome. Well, yeah, thank you, Johnny, for joining us. And that's Johnny Fogle with College Basketball Biggest Weekend Recap. Thank you, Johnny. Now we are going to pass it back to Kyle.
Yeah, so next we're going to be joined by Mario Medina. He's going to be talking to us about Gilbert Christian soccer from this past week. How you doing, Mario?
Thank you, man. Appreciate you having me here. You can hear me, right?
Yeah, you're all good.
Cool. So yeah, I went to Gilbert. I believe it was on Wednesday to do play-by-play for Gilbert Christian versus Tanque Verde. I believe is the team name. It's the Hawks versus the Knights. And let me tell you, man, the first 10 minutes of that game was the ultimate decisive outcome of that game. The Knights, which is Gilbert Christian, they just came in at hot fire. Great defense, great offense. They put complete pressure on the Hawks. They literally set the tone the first 10 minutes of the game, because in the first 10 minutes of the game, Gilbert Christian was able to go up 3-0 on them. And we're talking about, these two teams, there's a reason why they're in the point in the season right there, right? Playing against each other in the semifinals. They both had streaks of 10 plus wins, and seeing the Hawks get kind of decimated in the first 10 minutes was crazy to see. But as time progressed through, the Hawks were able to put up a goal. I believe it was around the 25th minute. But like I said, the Knights just kept pushing pressure on them, that eventually the Knights would make it 4-1. And then we go into the second half, and then the Hawks make it, not the Hawks, the Knights, they make it 5-1. So it was a big lead. It was insane. But then there was a slight hope, a little hope that the Hawks were bringing in, because they were able to score 2 goals. One was incredible. One was midfield. I believe the player was named Seaton. He was midfield. There was a free kick, and it just went high in the sky and went right in. It was incredible. But unfortunately, like I said, the first 10 minutes set the tone for the entire game, and pretty much the outcome, because the Knights would prevail and beat them 5-3 by the end of it.
Yeah, Mark, that sounds like that's a high-scoring game. A lot of action in there. That early lead, that 3-0 lead, really seemed to help the Knights secure that win.
Yeah.
We appreciate you for your recap. You have a great rest of your night.
You too. Thank you, man. Thank you for having me.
Of course. All right, I'm going to turn this back over to Cole.
Yeah, next up we got Craig Baker, who is going to have a segment on this day in sports.
Hello, I'm Craig Baker with the Varsity Sports Show, coming to you with an On This Day in Sports History segment. On February 20th, 1997, superstar slugger Barry Bonds signed a record-setting 2-year, $22.9 million contract with San Francisco Giants. This deal signified Bonds' status as baseball's king of marketability. By this time, Barry had already been crowned 3-time National League Most Valuable Player and was a true 5-tool ball player.
The overshift is on, and Bassick deals. And Bonds hits one high. Hits it deep. It is out of here. 7:56. Bonds stands alone. He is on top of the all-time home run list.
Bonds, spurred on by his big money contract, would of course later break Hank Aaron's home run record of 756, crowning himself the new home run king of baseball. What this contract really did was usher in a new financial era into Major League Baseball, titled baseball money. Record-breaking contracts were being broken time and time again. Just 2 years after Barry Bonds signed his contract, Alex Rodriguez signed the largest contract in North American sports history with the Texas Rangers in 2001.
I couldn't be happier to be in Texas. I've always liked Texas. I've always loved playing here. I've played well here over the years.
Here is Alex Rodriguez for the first time as a member of the Texas Rangers. Base hit. So in his first at-bat as a Texas Ranger, Alex Rodriguez gets only the third opening day base hit of his career.
I think you're muted, Vince.
Sorry, guys. I'm going to shift gears here because I really want to put Cole on the spot, being in Tucson and being ingrained in the U of A Wildcat culture, particularly basketball.
Mm-hmm.
The culture of that program, the winning culture, goes back 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
How do they maintain it? You've been on campus a few years now. How do they maintain that?
I think one of the big factors is I think the fans, really, to be honest. I think that, like, no matter what, like the student section, the Zona Zoo is always very rowdy. I think that definitely gets the juice in there going for sure. And I mean, there's families showing up, there's, elders showing up and everything. Like, I think it's a big community, and like everybody there loves basketball.
Amazing. I mean, it's generational. It's not just like they've had a couple of good years, but they've been able to maintain, despite having some bumps along the way with coaching issues here and there, but they still maintain a high caliber product on the court. It's unprecedented. I'm just really impressed. Anyway, that was a side note because I was thinking of you, Cole, and I wanted to ask that question. Let's move along now. Kyle, what do you got for us?
Yeah, so next we're going to be joined by Marla Mundo. Hey, Marla, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good, good. So you have some games to talk to us about today.
Yes. So Wednesday night was semifinals in Nevada for 5A, and we started off. It was me and Thomas Scapa doing play-by-play and color. We were switching each game. We spent about 9-10 hours at Valley High School. We started off with Bishop Gorman girls, and after Wednesday night, they only allowed 24 total points in the playoffs. Had given up 12 points and 12 points. They just absolutely dominated. Their starting player, Aaliyah Spite, she's a 5-star commit to Texas, and they sat her the whole second half. She did not play once the second half. She had 6 steals in just the first quarter. It was just a complete domination by Bishop Gorman. The second game we did was boys game. It was Coronado Bishop Gorman. Bishop Gorman was the second team in Nevada. They got blown out 65-44 by Coronado. Coronado was led by Minna Gregg and John Collins. It was just 3 after 3 after 3 from Coronado. It was just absolutely crazy there. And they had a 4-point play at one point in the game. Corner 3, guy got fouled, had an and one opportunity, and he completed it. After that was Democracy Prep and Shadow Ridge for girls. Democracy Prep just completely blew them out. That was our third blowout in the row. It was pretty good, pretty solid team win. Slow paced, very exciting for team play, seeing a lot of passes. Last game we did was Bishop Gorman Liberty and Democracy Prep. That was our closest game yet. Went down to the wire. Liberty was able to pull out the win. Later today, we had state finals. Absolutely went crazy. We'll talk about that a little bit later.
Well, thank you, Marla. That sounds like an insanely busy Wednesday there for you.
Definitely. Thank you, Kyle.
Yeah, of course. You have a good one.
You too.
All right. Send this back over to Cole here.
Yeah, guys, now we're going to have Ansley Pavlicek joining us to talk to us about the girls' 5A state championship for basketball.
Hey, Cole, how are you doing?
Good. How are you, Ansley?
It was a crazy first game as it actually went into double overtime between Bishop Gorman and Democracy Prep. It was actually a crazy game because in the final few seconds, Democracy Prep was able to take a 10-point lead into halftime, and then Bishop Gorman responded, tied, and then finally they were able to hit 2 clutch free throws in the end to win it in double overtime.
Yeah, so yeah, with it going into double overtime, do you think that this game came down, who was more conditioned?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. But given the it was a crazy atmosphere. It was kind of like a revenge thing for Bishop Gorman because they actually lost to the semifinals to Democracy Prep last year, so they were able to get their revenge in the finals. It was a crazy game. Lizzie Spite, who's their star player, is a senior this year, so she was able to go out on top.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Ainsley, for that recap. And now we are going to be introduced with Andres Salazar for his half marathon prep.
This weekend, thousands of runners will take over the Las Vegas Strip for the Rock and Roll Half Marathon. But for one UNLV student, the race is more than just about 13.1 miles. Hi, my name is Andres Salazar from UNLV with Varsity Sports Show. And for most people, the Strip is where the night just starts. But for me, it's months of training and years of experience and preparation being tested. And in just days, I'll be running 13.1 miles through the heart of Las Vegas. Preparing for a half marathon doesn't happen overnight. I take my training very seriously and consistently. It's 40-mile weeks, speed work on the track, long runs pushing past 10 miles, recovery days that matter just as much as training days. Physically, your legs do burn. Mentally, mile 10 is the real battle overall, but that's where preparation takes over. The Rock and Roll Half Marathon is one of the only races that shuts down the Las Vegas Strip at night. But beyond the lights and live music, there's a bigger purpose. The race partners with St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital by giving runners the opportunity to raise money for families fighting childhood cancer. As a competitive runner, I always chase personal best and always improving. But knowing these miles can help someone else, that can sometimes change the meaning of the finish line. 13.1 miles, one city, one purpose. From Las Vegas, I'm Andres, the Roadrunner Salazar, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.
Love it. Andres Salazar from UNLV, aka the Roadrunner. He is a member of our team and a fitness fanatic. Loves UFC and will report on mixed martial arts as often as he gets an opportunity. So good luck to him in the half marathon this weekend. Guys, highlights of the show. Cole.
I'm a big NBA fan. I really like the recap about the what's next after the All-Star break. I'm a Nuggets fan myself. We keep bouncing around the 3 and 4 seed there, so I'm hoping that we get a top seed.
Awesome. And how about you, Kyle?
Yeah, so Mario Medina, I mean, he went into depth about Gilbert Christian, the Knights, dominating win, 3 goals in the first 10 minutes. To me, that is someone who used to play soccer back in high school. I know how hard 3 goals in 10 minutes as a team to produce is, so that's just incredible to me.
I give Mario a lot of credit. I saw him last night out at GCU, and the guy loves doing live reports from everywhere. I mean, he's out at ASU baseball, basketball, you name it, lacrosse. He'll report from anywhere, hockey, but good stuff. And reminder, guys, of Saguaro basketball. So while they weren't victorious against Mesa in the Open first round, that puts them back in the 4A. So they'll be hosting, and they'll find out tomorrow. All the teams will find out tomorrow who they play in that first round. So Saguaro, being in the 4A division, will be hosting next Wednesday night. We'll be covering that game as well. And tomorrow morning, Varsity Sports Radio Show, 10 to 11 a.m. on AM 1060 KDUS Arizona. We have joining us ASU Men's Club lacrosse coach Dave O'Neill. We've got Tracy Ramirez, GCU Women's Lacrosse coach. We have, who else is joining us? We have Saguaro's Lucas Ramirez. He's a mainstay on our program. He's a regular. He'll be joining us as well. Give us a breakdown of this past week and what he expects this coming week. And then, of course, we have the brand new head football coach for NAIA Arizona Christian University, the Firestorm, Coach Drew Maddox. Will be joining us tomorrow morning as well. Guys, thanks again for joining us on behalf of our amazing team and our co-hosts from the University of Arizona, Cole Bruntz, and from Arizona State University, Kyle Weselick. My name is Vince Delicio. for Friday Night Live. And thanks again, Marlon Mundo, for your production efforts. Have a good night.
It's Friday Night Live with Vince, pregame, postgame show. Your destination for top high school previews and wrap-ups with Vince and his team. Buckle up and hang on for Friday Night Live.